Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Is the microphone on? Well, here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the daily, 4-hour time frame. And there's a question mark right here in the middle of your screen. Now, I do believe that we will hit this question mark around $90,000 by the first week of June. Currently, this question mark is positioned on the weekend. Well, you can see right here it's positioned Sunday, June 2nd. But it's highly unlikely that we pump up there over the weekend. Probably sometime the first week of June, I expect to be up here. Now, is that possible? Well, we're going to look at that in this video, and I'm going to propose a path to get there. A lot of times, though, I am ultra bullish, as you should very well know. And we don't always get where I think we're going as quickly as we do. Could be that we hit here a few weeks later, maybe. But I think this is highly possible. These other lines you see on the chart, the vertical lines here, that's the FOMC meeting and CPI data release on June 12th, Wednesday, June 12th. This asterisk here means that it's a every other FOMC meeting lays out economic whatever, something or other, projected economic somethings. So that's one that does. This green vertical dashed line is where I proposed for a long time that we begin our parabolic bull rally. Now, I'm rethinking that. I'm not quite sure if we're going to pull that off by June 17th. It may come a little bit later, like maybe with the CPI data release on the 11th of July. Quite possibly. And the reason for that is that I believe the bottom of the next bear market is going to be around $90,000. 92. I think we're going to come down probably to $90,000, maybe just to 100 or even 125. I don't know. I think 90,000 would be the lowest that we come down to next bear market, I mean. And in order to hold that as support, we need to build up a lot of price action in this area. And I don't know how we're going to do that by June 17th. So possibly we get up to this area by then and then bounce around here a little bit for the next month to give us that base. So we'll just have to see what happens. So let's get into this here. First of all, we'll start off by going back in time. Oh, and let's switch to a daily time frame. And well, let's just go back in time. I've done this before. You can see the blue parallel channels here that we've traded in since the FTX collapse right there. And just let price action in the channel speak for itself. You can clearly see the interactions with the center line and the tops and bottoms of the channel there. As we've moved up over time here to where we currently are. And the white channel, of course, is our the most important channel in Bitcoin's history. It goes way back in time. And it's where we start every parabolic bull run from. Either from the top of the channel here, like we did back here, which I think we may do this time around as well. From consolidation within the channel. Now, mind you, well, this isn't even the parabolic bull run, but it is a pre bull run before the COVID crash, and we did consolidate here, came up through, and bounced back down for support there. And I've gone over this in the previous videos, so sorry if same thing here. Acted as resistance, didn't really do much inside of it here, but rallied above it, came back down, tested for support, and then we're off to the races. And even way back here, where we were inside this channel briefly, consolidated along the center line, came back down, and as you can see, even on the daily time frame, wicked right down to it on the daily, and then started our parabolic bull rally. It's interesting here, somewhere up here, is that we also, where we came down to it, was also the 21-week moving average. Right there. Interestingly enough. Let's see where that plays out, where we are today. Huh. That very well could be. This moving average comes up, starts heading up this way. Could be very, very close. Interesting. All right. Well, that's enough of that. I want to turn on the daily Gaussian channel because I have the Gaussian channel lines here, the dashed curved lines on your screen. And I just want to make sure they all line up because they're always changing as price action because they're very curvy. And close enough. This one up here, yeah, they're pretty close. And so as you can see, we've come up recently through the daily Gaussian channel, held the mean band as support, held the bottom of our white channel as support, pumped up through the Gaussian channel, came back down, retested it, which we don't always necessarily do, but we did. And here we are. Let's turn that off now. Before I present my path that I believe I should say my totally made up and imaginary path for Bitcoin to get to this question mark by June. However, it is based on a lot of evidence, as I'm about to lay out. Before I do that, though, I do want to note that this, well, oh, we are on a daily. Let's switch to like a 4-hour chart, because that will help you see better this green trend line, this thin green diagonal trend line here. You can see the price action here, where it acted as resistance, acted as support. A little bit there. Acted as resistance here, and support here, and support there. And we're currently above it. Now, so we've been following this trend line for the whole month of May. And it could quite very well be that we just continue along this trend line and rally up from it a little bit and keep coming back down to retest it. And that would get us to the top of this white channel sometime around the FOMC meeting in June, and up to about $78,000. That certainly is a scenario that could play out. But I'm going to give you the super pumpy to the moon version. So let's switch to an hourly time frame. And I laid this out, and what's really interesting is that thus far it's kind of playing out. Looks like it could. Now I got to turn on some lines. Well, I'm zooming back out now because before I get started, I do want to point out the lines that are on the chart. Bottom line and these bright white lines are the top and bottom of the most important channel in Bitcoin history, and the white dashed line is the center line of that channel. And then we also have the blue parallel channels, which are very, very major since the FTX collapse. It's the channels we've been trading in. And we have a smaller version here with they both have the base right here. The smaller version top is there, the larger version top is there. And then the larger version has the light blue center line, and the smaller version has this dark blue center line. So we will be interacting with those. As price moves, it will recognize these lines. Just like it did right here. This line here acted as resistance, clearly. And we even tried to get up through the blue center line there, but didn't quite make it. And I wonder if we, in fact, no, you can't see. Nope. Guess not. Well, you know what? Let's switch to a 5-minute. Just want to see something here for a second. You can see on the 5-minute chart how we did. That line acted perfectly as resistance. It's just that one little wick through it. And here. So these lines are serious stuff. I don't mess around with my lines. They are exact. And this is a line that goes back over a year and a half. And it's so exact that it acted as resistance here to within 750 to within like $15 or so. So there you have that. Now, I don't want to go to a daily. We want to go to here, let me pause. So we're on a 4-hour chart right now. And I'm going to turn on a couple horizontal lines, the red lines right there. And those are horizontal support resistance lines that come back here to our previous high action back here. And they just kind of look like they might be significant. They got a lot of resistance and support here as we look back in time, that lower one, and then up here for the upper one. I mean, it's hard to say. There's a lot of different, but it does look like, and we don't go back further, do we? No. So anyway, that's our horizontal resistance. Besides the green line above it, which marks the our all-time high recently of March 13th or whatever. So that's our horizontal resistance, and you can see that we did even come up to it there. That was actually the intersection of our of this blue line here and our horizontal resistance, which is really, really interesting how that works out, how the diagonals and the horizontals, the intersections of which are key points. So we got those lines. Now, Huh, I thought I was recording. Anyway, I hope I didn't skip out on some stuff. But anyway, here we are with our most recent consolidation from May 15th before we blasted off on Monday. Consolidated in this blue triangle, ascending triangle. Here's our target from there, and pulling that measurement over to here. This is where our target is, where this green X and question mark are, or my approximations, where we would end up were. And we just blasted through up to our center line of our white parallel channel. And I thought we would just stop here briefly and then explode upwards more, especially as quickly as we moved up without even slowing down. But that was a little short squeeze, and we're consolidating back where we should have been afterwards. And the bears are trying to push us down through the top of the daily Gaussian channel unsuccessfully, and down to our test our previous all-time high from the previous bull cycle, and we've managed to escape from those support lines. Now we're going to get really, really small, so we're going to zoom into an hourly chart. Yeah, we're going to get really, really small here, because what I just did. Oh, I got to turn on one more line. And there is our one more line that forms our triangle. Over, just half a day or so. We've been consolidating in this triangle and have just broken out. I was kind of worried because we were just sitting right here, and I'm thinking, Jesus, is my theory even going to play out? But we have broken out of this triangle and possibly coming down for a retest. How much we got? 27 minutes left. So we could possibly come down to 69 and a half, and then see a bounce on the next hour. We are already starting a new 4-hour candle. So that would take us till almost the morning. So that's 8, 12. Now, so the target from this triangle I've measured from our previous all-time high to the top of the triangle, and that would take us up to here about 70,000, just over 70,000 from market open. Just a few hours from now, in about 5 hours. So, do we have some sort of... Yeah, it is kind of like this is a resistance level right here. So that makes sense that we would come up to about there and just kind of wait for the market to open and see what happens. Now, so remember I had to turn on this line. Let's go see what that line is. Well, here, I don't need to pause the video. I'll just turn this on to a 4-hour time frame. So that is a trend line that you saw, just contains our current price action, and touches this price action here from May 19th back here. Got perfect touches on May 15th, and I'm sure we touched it again somewhere, don't we? Or do we? Maybe we don't. I don't know. Nope, that's it. So it's just recent, May 15th, May 19th, and currently. It's just a short little trend line here. Now, that trend line does happen to take us up through that little target that I had from our inverse head and shoulders. That orange X is the target from our inverse head and shoulders, which we have yet to hit. And you can see what we do with this trend line is that we come up off of it, we touch it, come up off of it, touch it, come up off of it, touch it. So it makes sense that we would come up off of it now, once again. Now, we're on a 4-hour chart. I think that's okay. Maybe switch to an hourly. Because we got a lot of stuff to do in a short little time period. So I'm going to turn on some other lines now and turn off that triangle. All right, so I've turned on these orange channels. And they're channels that I've used in the past. Now, I did make this one a little bit smaller. I narrowed it. But these are channels that I've used in the past, and they depict the slope of price action. You can see right here that we acted as support there on the bottom of the channel. And actually, the top of the channel acted as support here. And the center line, clearly, we traveled along the center line here, acting as support and resistance. And then kind of lost it right there. We came back down here, and instead of bouncing off the channel, we just went sideways. So that the breaking of the channel was what indicated that we weren't going up. We were just going to kind of do something else here. And then we lost it. But now currently, we have found a clone of that channel. Although, like I said, a little narrower. And it's acted as support here. And support here. And then we've come back down and traded within the top of the channel here. And then clearly interacted with the center of the channel right here, and then have come back down as we retested the top of the previous all-time high and the top of the daily Gaussian channel. Now, of note, my proposal first was that we were going to continue upwards in this channel. What's really, really interesting is that we are holding support with candle wicks on both this channel and this trend line. You can see how we're kind of coming down to the trend line here. But then also clearly right there we held that candle wick. There we held the candle wick here. And if you zoom in onto a 5-minute chart, you can see more interaction with these lines. But I'll just leave that for now. So, we're going to turn on some more channels now. And I told you this was going to get crazy. Now we have these green super parabolic channels. But are they so crazy? Because that's exactly where we traveled in on Monday. So these channels get us up where we need to be quickly. So that's where we traveled through on Monday. And I propose that market open, we will be traveling upwards through this channel. Now I expect us, so that movement upwards through this channel will take us across the orange channel. And I do expect us, it'll bring us from the bottom of the channel up to the center line and into the top portion of the channel, where I believe we'll hit resistance as we cross the center line of the white parallel channel, and the blue center line of the parallel channel and these red horizontal resistance zones. We'll come up through here throughout the day on Thursday, and towards the end of the day, get stuck in this area and bounce around here, which makes perfect sense, or perfectly sense, depending on your ability to use grammar properly. Because that's typically during U.S. market hours is when we see things move, and then they just kind of fizzle out throughout the rest of the day. Now, then we have market open on Friday, which is, where is it? It's like right over here somewhere. Right over here. Actually, right up there. So I believe that over the night, we will consolidate into some sort of triangular patterns here up to our previous all-time high Friday, and hold that as resistance until market open Friday. And then we will explode up to this green line, which is the top of our white channel. Now, I don't think we're going to get past the top of this white channel. That's at about 78,000, 77,000. So, 77,000 by end of day on Friday, I believe, is where we're going to end up. That's tomorrow, or depending on when you watch this. And then consolidate over the weekend here. Now, I've drawn a path, which you probably saw in my previous video. Let me pull that up. This is the path that I drew in my previous video, this green path. You can see we haven't followed it. We've kind of sidestepped a little bit here. Started to right here, and I believe we will get back up there. I mean, I don't expect us to go right along this line, but it's just anyway. So I expect what I've laid out, I expect us to move up in this channel today, up to about here by end of day, and consolidate in a triangle here. That's my little triangle of consolidation. Then break out from that triangle up to our blue center line here, and have another triangular consolidation. Break out from that up to our red resistance right here, into another consolidation Friday morning, and then move up here into this parallel channel. Now I'm going to have to switch to a 4-hour because I won't be able to scroll over. No, I still can't. So Friday's price action, I believe, will get us up to this line. Then over the weekend, I expect us to pull back. I mean, we need to, that'll be a big move up to 77,000. So I do expect to pull back naturally. And we do need to fill in this area. This will get us outside. This will get us outside this green, this will get us above our previous all-time high, and outside this green triangle, which I'll show you in a second. So I imagine we come up back here, and we'll have to come back down and retest this, no doubt. But maybe we don't come down immediately and retest it, and kind of hold this channel a little bit more over the weekend. Come up here, come down. Maybe we do come down all the way, a little bit more upwards on Sunday. Come back down. Now, I drew this green line before I had this blue trend line drawn. So this probably ends up over here a little bit before market open on Monday. And then we move upwards there next week. And probably see some sort of consolidation in this area, building up structure, building up a lot of price volume and price in there, and then explode. This will get us through May. Where's May? This is Friday, the last day of the month. And then somehow, come June, the first week of June, we will explode back up to the top here. So we'll see what happens once we get there. I got it all figured out through the end of the month, and then we'll just see. We'll have to make up some more plans as this plays out, if in fact it does come anywhere close. Now the final thing I wanted to do is I just switched to a daily time frame. So we got to zoom out more. What we've had since 29th of February, since March, the beginning of March, April, and May, past 2.5 months, we've been consolidating in this triangle. Now, you can say that we were not in a triangle here. This whole price action doesn't even look like a triangle. But you got to be a crazy triangle guy to realize that it is a triangle. We just colored outside the lines here. But what we have is a line here, which is the bottom of our most important parallel channel in Bitcoin history, which acted as support here, very clearly, very accurately, and support here, although we did fall through it and it acted as resistance as well. It's a very important structure in our price action here. And this part doesn't count. Now, as far as a top, we have our all-time high. We don't have any other contact points at 73,000, but you get the general idea. And you can see, although we don't have a single clear top, we do have resistance in this area here, as marked off by these horizontal resistance lines. Clear resistance at this area, and it's in a triangular shape. It's a consolidation shape. And what it is I don't know what it is, but basically, so with this acting as a base of our triangle and this acting as a top, I've drawn this measurement here, and I pulled the measurement over here. And typically there's a couple ways to estimate this target over here. Well, and one is clearly not what I've done. But we have these channels here. I'm going off the channels that we have and what I know. I know the price action is traveling in the blue channel. I know the price action is traveling in the white channel. We have this resistance here, this top. We have a measured move from the bottom of this channel to the top of this channel. And so I pulled the measurement over from a breakout of our resistance to the top of the blue channel. And there you have your 90K the first week of June. So that's that. Now let's see if that plays out. Oh, the other thing I did kind of want to go over, I guess, is this stuff. So we have the stochastic RSI and the RSI here, and we do have this trend line of support here on the RSI. So that makes a lot of sense that we keep continuing upwards, and as long as we're holding that, and it looks like we are, that looks pretty good to me. We're up here in the bullish zone here. I imagine that we will just keep hanging out here, like we have, like say back here in this area. That'll get us back up to where we're going. We can also look at the we can go to the various time frames, like the 4-hour chart. Same deal. If I can move it over, that's our same trend line on the RSI, and we're following it. We're kind of breaking through it a little bit. So I haven't really redrawn it on the 4-hour, but whatever. We could very easily come up here and cross through our moving average, which would be very bullish. Looks like we could very well, since we are on this line, a bounce certainly is possible to take us up higher. And we are at the bottom, curving upwards, about to come up through on the 4-hour there. Looking very, very good. Same on the hourly. All this is very, very, very good. The hourly, we're way down here. So we got room to come up. Yeah. I mean, we could go down more. Certainly. There we go. We could go down more, certainly, but we are also at the top here on the hourly, but just like the daily, I think we could easily just kind of, whatever. The hourly's different. I mean, it's so volatile. Anyway, the 4-hour and the daily look really, really good. So, all this certainly looks possible here. Let's see where we're at. Back down to 69.6. So let's see what happens by morning. We're kind of just going our way here, and I'm looking for us to kind of keep going this way till morning, and then see a big move up throughout the day. So let's see what happens. So everybody, well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I did notice that earlier in the video, I thought I was recording and I wasn't, and I don't know how long that was going on for. So we might have skipped something in the very beginning, but hopefully, well, that would have made for a shorter video, which I'm sure you all appreciate. But so let's see what happens. Go Bitcoin, and like, subscribe, and see you next time. And before I go, I haven't mentioned Alto IRA in a long time. That's the IRA service that I use. I don't use that other one that you hear shilled on every other channel. Oh, so yeah, notice as I'm zooming out, these super parabolic channels that we moved up in here. I forgot we did another one here. So these channels that I use are channels that Bitcoin has traveled in time and time again. And I find that as they've done it many times in the past, they will continue to do so in the future. That's why I'm confident in this movement up here. being highly probable, at least possible. So Alto IRA, go check them out. And they use Coinbase as custody and for trading. And there's no monthly maintenance fees. The only fees you pay is for like 1% trading fees or something like that. You don't have to pay taxes on it, but well, just read up on it or consult somebody about it. But it's an IRA. Okay, so I just have to say that as a disclaimer. But anyway, you got to follow the rules of the IRA. You can only put so much money in there, and you have to follow your age timeline and all that other stuff as far as withdrawals and what have you. But go check them out. I am very, very pleased with them. Making money tax free, and I've reached out to them on questions that I've had and have gotten quick responses from them, unlike other services that I've tried and where they were just, the other services were actually absolute pieces of crap and never got a response. Tried multiple times and never got a response from them for the problems I was having trying to just set up an account. So anyway, that's it. See you next time.